Ministry of Agriculture has been asked to give documents relating to the importation of maize that reached Mombasa last week. MPs from the National Assembly's Agriculture Committee claim that 4 millers are benefiting from the subsidies program at the expense of the farmer. The CS will be back and has been directed to give the documents before Thursday next week, when he's expected to appeal again. And NTV's Leila Mohammed now joins us live from Parliament building. Leila, it was a very heated discussion. What else didn't we hear from that forum?
Exactly, Ken. A very heated and emotive discussion inside chamber number 7 in the Parliament buildings this morning. Fred Otter, the Member of Parliament from the ODM coalition, being very critical of the government and very skeptical of how the issue of importation of maize has been conducted. He says he comes from a background of protecting the interests of local farmers. Now that the government is paying them a total of 3,600 Kenya shillings for a 90-kilogram bag of maize, and yet some of the millers that are yet to benefit from the subsidy program are being paid as much as 4,300 Kenya shillings. Well, the magic number is 1,300 shillings that the government says it is cushioning the consumer so that we can be able to purchase a 2 kilogram pack of maize flour at 90 Kenya shillings. This not being enough information by the government to appease the members of Parliament who insisted they want to know how exactly the 19 millers, both big and small, across the country are benefiting from this subsidy program. We saw a Member of Parliament, Wanyama, who said that as an individual he has 1,000 bags of maize at his farm, and says, like so many other farmers in the country, they have not been informed well by the government in terms of how much the government is going to pay the farmers. However, PS Lesiampe was very critical and said the government offered farmers 2,300, again 2,500 shillings, 3,000 shillings and up to 3,600, and he says he believes there is a motive by farmers to hold on to the grain until they can attract much higher prices. However, the government insists that it is now open and gives the farmers 3,600. Now there is this issue of him being at the port last week to receive the 29,000 metric tons of grain was under scrutiny, and once again he said he just went there to check the quality. While being interviewed earlier in the morning, he said that the government, through a Gazette notice on April 13th this year, was able to say that they have zero-rated the coming in of yellow maize in the country. By then, the country had only 4 million bags in the reserves, and they were expected to cushion the coming in of yellow maize so that animal feed cannot compete with human consumption maize that is basically white. So before he could even go and articulate some of these issues, the session turned quite chaotic, Ken, and at some point the chairman, Mohammed Noor, was not in a position to really calm down the situation, and he had to really say that without these documents the session could not move forward, and the CS, like you have clearly said, has been asked to fashion the committee of agriculture before Thursday next week, where he's expected to appear before the committee and give the nitty-gritty details of this situation under the Unga debate. As he has clearly said, he sticks to the script of yesterday and says that drought is the reason why Kenya had an issue. January, he said the strategic grain reserves had 10 million bags. Again, the members saying that he quoted the figure of 4 million bags. So before he could actually articulate some of these issues, the meeting could not actually move forward.
And Leila, why couldn't the CS answer the question of how much was the government giving these millers as subsidy? Why couldn't he answer that question?
At the end of the day, he said that a round figure of 1,300 ken was what was going to be given as a cushion to these millers. Remember, they purchased this grain, 29,000 metric tons, through a private entrepreneur who brought in the grain. And he said that most of the millers had already pre-ordered from that shipment, and they were going to purchase anything between 3,800 and 4,100 shillings. So the government really was going to cushion. Remember, now they're buying the grain at 2,300 shillings. So he could not really articulate the mathematics clearly, but basically at the end of the day, he was able to state that at the end of the day, it is only 1,300 that the government is cushioning. Remember, the taxpayer is going to contribute 6 billion shillings towards this subsidy program, which the government is using to cushion the cost of living for many Kenyans who are now purchasing this product for the next 4 months at 90 Kenya shillings, a packet of 2 kgs and 47 for 1 kilogram.
And of course, Leila, the members of parliament were not satisfied. That's the reason why they are asking for all these documentations. Thank you very much, Leila Mohammed, reporting from parliament.